Hi, welcome to our Strategy for Success seminars. I'm Terry Kimball, president here and CEO at the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, and I am so excited to bring you. I have Cheryl James with me with CL James Consulting. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, and Cheryl, I loved your topic, maximizing your customer experience. I can't wait because we know now more than ever that customer, what that customer thinks and what that customer needs is so critical for all of our businesses.
Absolutely.
But before we go ahead and get started, I want to make sure our viewers know about you because you have a very impressive background. Obviously, you're the owner of CL James Consulting, and you are obsessed with customer experience long before we really even knew what it meant. And it's always been a passion about pursuing ways to help organizations address successful obstacles. Cheryl has spent 25 years working for a Fortune 100 company, designing technical systems and solutions aimed at helping businesses improve their overall employee experience. She launched CL James Consulting with the goal of taking her 25 years of experience and understanding how big companies manage their customer experience and bringing that to small businesses to enable them to compete on experience, not on price. And that is so true right now.
Absolutely. So needed. And so many business owners don't have time to focus on it. So hopefully we can help them.
Well, I can't wait to hear what you have to say today.
Great. Thank you. So thank you all for having me as I share my screen here. One moment. Seems to be moving a little slow now.
Not quite yet. There we go.
There we go. Thank you so much. So a little bit about me, as Terry just said, 25 years, actually 25 years next week with a Fortune 100 company, working with other Fortune 100 companies. I bring a wealth of expertise with third-party management, data and systems, mergers and acquisitions, and just global customer management. I am a self-proclaimed data junkie. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. I love all things data. So when it comes to the customer experience, understanding those data points and helping you to make informed decisions is what I'm passionate about. A little bit about my company. Our vision is basically to help businesses create outstanding customer experiences. In this day and age where the customer journey is so critical, knowing and understanding your customer, their expectations, their needs, and their wants, and what pain point that your business solves for them is the key to every interaction. So that's our vision, is to help businesses do that. Our mission, to gain, maintain, and retain brand loyal customers. I think that's what all businesses want. We want customers that tell other customers. Then our goal is to deliver an outstanding customer experience that allows you to achieve your organizational goals and see a return on investment. Again, let us help your brand be so good your clients can't forget you. And that is important because you always want to be top of mind with your customers. Here are some of the core services that we offer. So we offer everything from customer journey mapping all the way through automation and improvement of processes. And every one of these steps along the way is critical when it comes to your customer journey mapping and your customer experience. You see, customer experience is the full end-to-end interaction with your business, not just customer service, which is a component of it. So what we're going to talk about in a few of our next slides is the difference between the two. But here, just a little deep dive, your customer journey end to end, and it defines how you want your clients to feel as they relate to your business. And this feeling is really critical because we know customers buy based on emotion. So we need to give them a positive emotional response so that they continue to patronize our businesses. We do integration management, integration of products and services that help you optimize your customer experience. Oftentimes, we find that business owners don't have anything integrated that helps them to manage and judge their performance. We help define analytics and key performance indicators. We create performance metrics, so we help set SMART goals so that you are meeting your company targets. We enable the customer service process. So monitoring, setting up metrics and goals and standard operating procedures for your customer service team so that they respond to your customers as needed when needed. And then, of course, automation and improvement. Every business needs to have some level of automation. I don't believe in total automation, but you should have as much as possible to make sure that your process moves as smoothly when you're not able to do it yourself. Let's talk about customer experience in the bottom line. I'm often quoted talking about Jeff Bezos. Amazon is the king, and I do mean the king of customer experience. Just imagine that 5 years ago, we weren't nearly as reliant on Amazon as we are today. But what have they done? They focused on the customer. They made us realize that we needed everything that we could get in 2 days. We didn't realize that. So we need to think about how we manage that customer experience. How do we know what our customers want? How do we anticipate what they need? How do we exceed their expectations? And how do we do that on every interaction? And then, and only when we do not exceed their expectations, how do we have a customer service team in place that can handle those issues? So a couple points. In order to have a brand or business, you need a customer. So that's number one. If you are a brand that does not have a customer-centered experience, you will become obsolete. You will be replaced by someone who does. Brands that don't focus on their customers and make it a goal to retain them will lose them to someone else who is focusing on them. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is less about your product and more about your customer experience strategy. And let's deep dive into that just for a minute. You can have this across the street, across the world, but that feeling, that customer experience that you give to your customers is what creates differentiation. It's what makes your customer come back and buy from you again and again and again. It is critical in order to stay relevant that you focus on your customer, you focus on your customer experience, you make your customer the hero of the story, and they will continue to buy from you long into the future. A question that I get repeatedly, Cheryl, what's the difference between customer experience and customer service? And it's really simple. Customer service is a single interaction, situation, or transaction. And customer service generally gets engaged when something goes wrong. So I want to repeat that. Customer service is a single situation or transaction when something generally goes wrong. This is one piece of the end-to-end journey. You figure by the time someone gets to customer service, normally they've already purchased from you. They've already interacted, they've already transacted, and they're contacting your customer service because something didn't happen the way they expected. We can't totally avoid that. However, when you think about the customer journey or the customer experience, it is the end-to-end journey, the total sum of all of the interactions. And think about this, your customer is really your customer before they even transact with you. When they're browsing on your website or stopping in your store to look around, it's how they feel then is going to determine if they make a purchase. And if they make a purchase, it's going to determine how you handle that if they ever come back. So it is from the potential of a customer or potential of a purchase all the way through post-purchase transactions. Have you followed up with them? Are they on your mailing list? Do you have a loyalty program? Have you captured what they like? And are you offering them specials? This is the customer experience. Customer service is really one little component of the end-to-end experience. So in order for you to maintain as a business, especially a small business, you have to think about your end-to-end customer experience so that it doesn't happen by chance. I meet so many business owners who think about their customer service and not their customer experience. And ultimately, they spend more on customer service because they haven't mapped out all of the touch points that their customers will go through. As a result, they miss some. So this is the area that we really try to focus on at CL James Consulting is how do we get the customer experience right so that they become brand loyal followers. Let me tell you a little bit about the framework or the methodology that we have developed. It's called IDEA. You identify your customer touchpoints, you define the process in detail, you execute, you train, you help all of your employees understand what that process will be. And then at the end of the day, you analyze all of your metrics to ensure that you are meeting your targets. We deploy this framework across any industry, and it helps them to create those brand loyal followers. Remember, we want to help your brand or your business be so good that your customers simply can't forget you. Some advantages of working with us. I have a lot of travel management experience, so I'm used to data, travel, leisure, business, lots of experience there. We've worked with multi-level marketing companies. So helping them, it's the same concept about brand loyal customers. And as I mentioned, I'm a data junkie. So I have many years of process and data management, helping with system integration, customer service operations, all of the things that can help a business be successful in creating a brand loyal, customer obsessed customer management experience. Thank you so much for your time today. So this is how to contact me. You have my number, you have my website, you have my email address. And I am looking forward to hearing from so many of you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Wow, Cheryl, that was a lot of information. Wow. In fact, I was taking notes. So I love the journey mapping, the integration management, the analytics, the performance measures, because that's a big one too. And then customer service process, and then automation and improvement. Because
Absolutely.
I think all of us has seen over the past year, we have all had to readjust how we deliver our goods.
Absolutely.
You show me one company that hasn't done that. Seriously.
And they're probably no longer in business.
Right. Well, even so, for instance, restaurants, some of them may have offered drive up and that kind of service. They were forced to.
Yeah.
Also, those companies that were not embracing technology, that was another key thing. And
Absolutely.
one of your other things that it kind of made me laugh. You talked about Amazon and how they created the 2 days that we didn't know that we needed everything in 2 days.
We didn't know. We just honestly didn't know that you needed the tube of toothpaste in 2 days. It was a toothpaste emergency. It had to be there in 2 days. And we were angry, especially during COVID, when it didn't come in 2 days. But it's the fact that they've created this environment now. And when we think about our competition, we don't think about our competition being Amazon. And Amazon isn't necessarily our competition, but the Amazon mindset and the Amazon experience is our competition. Every business has that now, even if they don't realize it. People are of an Amazon mindset. And when you say 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, it feels like a lifetime.
Well, the other thing that they've done is that the return policy. That instant, normally it would take, X amount, but they're taking it back no matter what and issuing you your credit right away. And we then sometimes when we're going and dealing with stores and that, we expect that same, even though it may be a smaller mom and pop, that it may not be as easy for them.
Absolutely. And I just did a case study and a blog post around return policy. So it's interesting that you would bring that up. I gave the Nordstrom example about return policy because they are the king of return. And I'll tell you this really quick story. Nordstrom doesn't ask any questions. If you come in and you say, I purchased this here, they will take it back. I read a case study where Nordstrom accepted a return on 4 tires. No questions asked, which would normally not be amazing, except Nordstrom doesn't sell tires.
I was going to say.
But because it was a Nordstrom customer, they accepted them, no questions asked. Now
Wow.
imagine that in a small business, we could possibly do that, but bringing some of those types of policies, those types of customer experience type scenarios where you still respect the word of the customer and you treat them as such, I still think we as small business owners can deliver that $1 million, I'll call it $1 million brand experience.
Well, and the other thing that you really talked about, and I really liked this, is you really kind of talked about that customer journey. And right now, everybody is so quick to just spout out on social media. So how do you advise your clients? What if they have a bad review or a bad comment? How should they handle that?
It's a great question. So bad reviews will come. We need to know and accept it. We need to take them as lessons. I always say if a person is willing to write a review, they really still want to be your customer.
I love
and
that.
You really have the opportunity to turn it around. So I think the big thing is to address it. Address it on social media. It does not have to be a long drawn out conversation because I do recommend that you take it offline and contact the customer directly, but let your social media see you respond. In that lies your success metric because negative reviews that go unresponded actually taint your customer pool. So you've not only lost that one customer, you've probably lost 10. That's kind of the metric.
I love that. And you put up a little graphic that said customer friendly support, innovative, positive, precise, and timely. And down the center, it was about service. I love that. I wrote that down.
You have to be timely. One of the biggest things that I hear from customers is businesses who the mailbox is full, they don't return emails, they don't respond on social media. So it was convenient for you to make the purchase or for them to generate the revenue, but inconvenient for them to work with you in terms of service. That lies a negative customer experience and probably a customer that will never shop with you again.
Great point. So tell me your biggest success or your proudest moment with one of your clients.
Oh boy, I think the proudest moment with one of my clients was dealing with their social media. They had been in business maybe about 3 years.
Mhm.
Social media just wasn't a thing for them. So they knew they needed to have a presence, but they didn't monitor it. So they had a lot of negative reviews as a result. And what we did was launched a campaign of really talking about the customer experience, understanding the focus. They started to basically love on their customers and become customer obsessed. And as a result, They had such positive feedback. Their customers were so happy that they understood and had the revelation that their customers were so important. They implemented customer appreciation days and things like that. And as a result, their revenue has tripled. So I think it just goes back to the fact that, especially depending on the industry you're in, social media is king. I mean, people check social media for everything. So I just think it's important, and you see it when you really invest the time and energy into it to really love on your customers. And like Jeff Bezos says, you have to be customer obsessed. You have to make your decisions based on your customer and not yourself. And that's so hard for so many business owners. We think it's our business, it's our baby. But you know what? We created the business to solve a need for our customers. Let's help them help us be successful.
Well, and that goes back to you being that data geek. Because sometimes we are so passionate about our businesses that we need to take that step back and look at that data. What is that
Absolutely.
really telling us?
Absolutely. That's a big key. A lot of people don't look at social media insights. They don't do surveys of their customers. I always say to businesses, talk to your customers. How do you know if you got it right? How do you know if you're going to ever get it right if you never talk to them? And ask them questions that give you data to make informed decisions. Again, as business owners, we feel we sell to ourselves. We sell to what we like, not necessarily our ideal audience. So I often have them collect data points that says, but what do your customers like? And based on that, they can make informed decisions to make changes if needed.
Well, and you said it earlier, feedback is a gift.
It is.
So, wow,
Absolutely.
I wrote down 2 pages of notes listening to you. Well, Cheryl, I just want to thank you so much for participating. Our small businesses need to hear this. And I'm so blessed to have you here on and maximizing your customer experience. Cheryl James with CL James Consulting. And if you want more information, we will make sure that you get her contact information. So thanks again, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Next week, tune in as we will be selling is an essential part of every business. However, not all sales training is created the same with Bart Nolenberger. So make sure that you join us. Tune in next Thursday.